Hello, today I will be teaching the nature of political parties in Japan. The government of Meiji Japan was formed by people of Satsuma domain and Chosu domain in 1860s. The Meiji government introduced political parties in Japan during the period. The political parties were inaugurated during the Meiji period, but they had a sort of regional importance. With the Meiji Restoration, the political parties in Meiji Japan gained importance. It also gained importance with the introduction of Meiji Constitution and the Diet of Japan. The first national election of Japan was held in 1890 and 300 members were elected to the lower house. Voting was restricted to male members only of 25 years of age and who could pay income tax of 15 yen. Women were not allowed to vote during this period until the end of the Second World War. And with the introduction of the new Constitution of Japan in 1947. So we see that the political parties played a very important role in the political structure of Meiji Japan, and these political parties, while in the election, had a very important role. The Jiyuto and the Kaishinto party revived in anticipation of the election and together won half of the seats. The House of Representatives became the arena for disputes between politicians and government bureaucracy over large issues, for example, budgets, etc. In the early years of the constitutional government, the strength and weakness of Meiji Constitution were revealed. Throughout the period, the political problems were usually solved by compromise, and political parties gradually increased their power over the government and held a major role in the political process of Meiji Japan. Party system was inaugurated during the Meiji period, and throughout the period it was seen that the political parties gained importance. It was seen that in the years of 1930s and 40s, they were subsequently suppressed and the freedom to organize political parties was again guaranteed after 1947. On the other hand, it is seen that between 1913 and 1941, Japan evolved a two-party parliamentary system. But as there were numerous political parties in Japan, this system changed into a multi-party parliamentary system. The history of political parties in Japan can be traced back from 1870s when the government established political party and with limited regional appeal. But with the Meiji Restoration and with the Meiji government, emperor coming into power, and with the introduction of the Meiji Constitution, the political parties in Japan became very important. The Meiji Constitution was one of the very backbone of the parliamentary system of government in Japan, and during this period, it is seen that there was a conflict between the ruling oligarchy and the elected representatives, and which led to the stalemate, and Ito Hirabumi was joined forces with the majority of the parliamentary representatives to form the Rikken Seiyuka, commonly called the Friends of the Constitutional System, and this party became a very dominant political party in Meiji Japan, and after that also until 1941. So Rikken Seiyuka was one of the great political party in Japan during this period. On the other hand, it is seen that in 1913, a second political party became very strong in Japan, and it was known as the Doshikai. This was a very important political party at the national level, and it was an effective alternative to Shiokuka. This was an effective alternative to Shioka party. Moreover, it is seen that the Doshikai was again later renamed as the Mensanto party. So, political parties gained importance in Meiji Japan and thereafter also. Moreover, there were minor left and right wings party which gradually gained importance after 1945, and after 1945 they started getting popular votes. On the other hand, it is seen that in the liberal 1920s, the parties dominated politics and power. In 1941, all political parties were dissolved and incorporated into a single party, the Imperial Rule Assistance Association. So, within the political structure of Japan, political parties became more and more important. In the post-war period, the political parties became important, and there evolved a single party system, a very stable party during this period. Moreover, in the post-war period, other political parties which became very strong in Japan was the Liberal Democratic Party. Liberal generally conservative and pro-business. In the post-war period, this party became very important in Japan. On the other hand, there was another important political party in Japan, the New Komeito Party. It was a socialist party, and this party was also very important in Japan in the post-war period. The Social Democratic Party, originally called the Japan Socialist Party, was also another party which became very important during the post-war period. More recently, the main party in opposition was the Democratic Party of Japan. This was a scenario in the post-war period. The Japanese Communist Party also became very important during the post-war period. So it is seen that during the Meiji period, which was the main center for the introduction of political parties in Japan, gradually these political parties, they became strong during the Meiji period with the introduction of Meiji Constitution. And with the introduction of Meiji Constitution, the very political structure of Japan also became very strong. There was a Rikken Seiyuka party during this period. This was also called the Friends of the Constitution government. There was the Doshikai party after this period in 1913, which was a stable party. This Doshikai party again was renamed as Mensanto party. So there was a number of political parties which initially started their journey from the Meiji period. But initially after 1947, there was a change in the scenario. All parties were dissolved and there was only one single party, which was the Imperial Rule Assistance Association. There was one single party. But after the post-war period, again, different political parties becoming strong in Japan. There was the Liberal Democratic Party, which was a very conservative party, and this party, and it was a pro-business party. This party also played a very important role in the political structure of Japan. There was the Social Democratic Party, which was called the Japan Socialist Party. So party structure became very important in the political spectrum of Japan throughout the period, throughout the history of Japan, starting from the Meiji period. And there was the Japanese Communist Party. So overall, if we study the nature of the political parties in Japan, we see that initially the inauguration of this party system started during the Meiji period, and from the Meiji period it started its journey, and throughout the period it went on with the introduction of different parties. In the post-war period, there was a new constitution in 1947. After that, there was a single party system in Japan, but later on again, the parties became stable. One single party which became very stable. Later on, we see in the 50s, in the 60s, we see that different parties emerging in the political structure of Japan, like the Liberal Democratic Party, like the Socialist Party of Japan, like the Japanese Communist Party. So this total party system, which was gained importance during the Meiji period, had flourished throughout the history of Japan. In the early years of the constitutional government, the strength and weakness of the Meiji constitution was revealed. Throughout the period, the political problems were solved by compromise, and the political parties played a very important role in the political structure of Japan, and it became very important and its power increased during this period. The party participation was recognized as a part of the political process. So, political parties that was inaugurated during the Meiji period played an important role during the period throughout. And later on we see that in the 1930s and 1940s, these political parties were suppressed and the freedom to organize political party was again guaranteed in 1947 with the introduction of new constitution. Moreover, it is seen that between 1913 to 1941, in Japan, a two-party parliamentary system evolved. But due to the presence of a number of political parties, a multi-party parliamentary system evolved in Meiji Japan. The history of parties goes back to 1870s when the government established a political party with limited regional appeal. Other parties were subsequently established, but until the Emperor Meiji presented the nation with the Meiji Constitution, the political parties had a regional basis. But after the introduction of Meiji Constitution, the power of political parties in Meiji Japan increased. So it is seen that these political parties played a very important role in the political structure of Japan, and they were used by individuals to pressurize the government towards a parliamentary system. Under the 1889 constitution, one single party began to emerge when it became apparent that political opposition through the lower house representative was possible. By 1900, the conflict between the ruling oligarchy and the elected representative became very important, and this led to the stalemate, and Edo Hirobumi joined force with the majority of the representatives to form the Rikken Seiyuka, commonly called the Friends of the Constitutional Party. Moreover, we see that this party dominated till 1941. So, from the Meiji period till 1941, the Rikken Seiyuka party was one of the most important party in Japan. By 1913, a second very important party emerged in Japan, that was Doshikai party, and which was formed as an alternative to the Seiyuka party. So, Doshikai party was also a second very important political party, and this party also started working as a parallel party to the Seiyuka party. This Doshikai party was again renamed later and Meiji party, because there was the existence of minor left and right wing parties. Political party system in Japan was very important, but these left and right wing parties did not gain more than 10% of the popular vote. So, political party system in Japan that emerged from the Meiji period gradually gained importance throughout the political history of Japan, and the political structure of Japan was very importantly playing a major role in increasing the importance of these political parties, especially the Meiji Constitution, first constitution of Japan, which was started working in 1889. From 1889 till 1947, this constitution worked, and from 1947 a new constitution was introduced in Japan, by which also the political parties again gained importance. And all political parties were on the structure of political parties. These political parties played a very important role, and these political parties played a very important role in the political system of Japan, starting from Meiji Japan, which inaugurated the political party system. And this political party system, which was inaugurated during the Meiji Japan, had a very important role throughout the history of Japan. So in the political history of Japan, political parties which became very important, which started from the Meiji period and initially working till date, was very important, though there were minor small left and right wing parties, but the still dominant parties which could be noticed during the post-war period were the Liberal Democratic Party, which was a conservative party and which was a pro-business party. So political parties in Japan was very important in to form a great political structure of Japan. More or less, there was the Socialist Party of Japan, the Communist Party of Japan. All these parties in the post-war period became important in the political scenario of Japan. Political parties became very important in the political structure of Japan in the pre-war period, in the post-war period. Both in period, political parties became very important. In the pre-war period, there was the Rikken Seiyuka party, there was a Doshikai party, there was the Meiji party, and in the post-war period, there was Liberal Democratic Party, there was the new Komeito party, which was a opposition party, which was also called the Japanese Socialist Party. There was the Communist Party of Japan. So these parties played a dominant role in the post-war period. So party system in Japan was nothing new. It started with the Meiji government, with the Meiji introduction of the Meiji Constitution. Party system in Japan gained importance, and their importance gradually changed the political process of Japan, and with the introduction of the party system, a new political equation started in Japan, which existed till 1947, and from 1947 a new system of party system again was introduced in Japan, which lasted till date. If we summarize the whole thing regarding the political parties in Japan, we would first notice that these political parties first came into existence during the Meiji period. The Meiji government, with the introduction of Meiji Constitution, provided basis to the political structure of Japan, and with this the political parties emerged in Japan. These political parties played a very important role in the political structure of Japan, and the political parties also played an important role in the political process of Japan, and it recognized the political process of Japan. Moreover, these political parties started many sort of confusions. There were confusions between the government and the bureaucracy, but still these political parties gained importance day by day during the Meiji period. The Rikken Seiyuka party, the Doshikai party, which was later again renamed, these were the political parties which could be noticed during this Meiji period. But after the post-war period, the political parties which became important were the Liberal Democratic Party, the Japanese Socialist Party, Japanese Communist Party, and there were again small left and right wings party which also became important, but they did not gain more than 10% of the popular vote. So political parties in Japan restructured the political process of Japan, and with the introduction of political party, a new system of party was introduced in the history of Japan, which still existed today. This party system of Japan, which was introduced during the Meiji period and which continued throughout the history of Japan, had a very important effect in the political structure of Japan, and with the introduction of the party system, Japanese political process was also recognized, and in the post-war period, the political parties also became very important in the history of Japan. Thank you.